Here we go, locking and loading, getting set for episode 217 of the Kirby on.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, finally, the Swiss Army knife has returned to save the intro. I would not allow it. No. I would not allow a poorly executed intro. As a matter of fact, I have breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. A record has just been broken. The record for the almost awful intro ever produced by Josh Kirby has been broken. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you are in the presence of greatness. You are about to go one-on-one with the great one. Let's start the show.
Well, I'm Josh Kirby. I might get interrupted again by the Swiss Army knife. If not, I'll go ahead and name our sponsors. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you to all of our sponsors, PM Plus Reserves, Shenandoah Primitives, the Transformative Alignment Group, Barrett, Pest and Termite Services, Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate, Shenandoah Music, Mark Lynch with Guild Mortgage, and the Cider House, the brand new Cider House in downtown Winchester. Great food, great cider, and the official energy drink of the Kirby on Sports podcast, Don't Sleep Energy. Use promo code KOS Podcast for 12% off your order every single time. Joining me, the weapon, Dan Dembski. Dan, how are you, sir?
What's up, man? I'm tired, but I'm here. But I'm here.
Hey, we're rocking, ready to go.
Excited to be here.
Hey, I
And
don't
Carlos hyped me up. Carlos
Yeah.
he's got me ready now.
I don't have to introduce the man. I really don't at this point. I don't have to introduce the man.
He's too good at this.
I'm just awesome, guys. Okay. In all honesty, I don't know what happened. I kind of just blacked out for a second, but I'm here.
Yeah,
It was
sure
great.
you did. Oh my, playing his bits here on the Kirby on Sports podcast, gentlemen. The turkey, I hope, was good. The mashed.
I don't eat
potatoes,
turkey. I don't do turkey.
Yeah, Carlos doesn't.
You drive a bird. We do chicken
okay,
in this household.
Okay, let me rephrase. The Thanksgiving spread, was it good?
Yes.
Always good.
Carlos, what do you have in store for next year? I know you planned it Black Friday.
Well, we're still working on the menu. Right now we're still sticking with chicken. We might add I don't know yet. We're still working on the menu. Right now I'm more focused on, because I do have to plan out Christmas, so I do have to figure out what I'm doing for that. But I guess after Christmas is when I start planning for Thanksgiving.
So were you planning?
Hungry already.
So were you planning for Thanksgiving during the 3:00 Chiefs Black Friday game?
No, I was in the middle of preparing the meal, so there was no planning. You see, when we do Thanksgiving dinner, we're not like, I mean, I'm not calling any of you two out because I don't know how you guys work out. We're not like any of those weirdos that have that are like, oh, Thanksgiving dinner is at 2:00 in the afternoon. No, sir. No, dinner is dinner. Okay. We are having Thanksgiving dinner at 7:00.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Whoa, Dan.
Whoa.
Too late. It's too late.
Too late? That's
What?
dinner time.
It's too
What?
late. For
What time? Hold on.
Thanksgiving, It's too late.
What time? What time?
I am one of those people, as you have previously mentioned.
You're a 2 o'clocker?
We're 2 o'clocker.
I can't do
2
business with you anymore, Dan.
If that's all it takes.
I
then
can't
fair
do
enough.
business with you.
Sure enough, yeah. Okay.
What
fair
is
enough.
wrong with you? It's called Thanksgiving dinner, not Thanksgiving lunch.
Yeah. Lunchtime is from 12 to 2. And
Honestly,
I mean-
lunchtime is from 12 to 4.
yeah, I guess. I mean, Thanksgiving dinner at 4 is pretty bad too. And listen,
But 4 is a little more acceptable. Like, at least let the sun go down, you know? The sun goes down at 5
Amen.
o'clock. Like,
So
2 o'clock, I'm not eating dinner when the sun is up.
I'm putting my parents on full blast here, and I do apologize for that. But the last Thanksgiving, they scheduled dinner right in the middle of the Commanders-Cowboys game. And I mean, I know, obviously,
who cares?
the Cowboys lost.
But, I
won.
mean,
Who cares about that?
you guys sucked last year. Like, was it
know,
really that
I know.
bad?
But still, I wanted to watch my team. I was crossing my fingers, hoping in the back of my mind that we would beat the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving, and I could send some smack talk Carlos's way. But that was a old, unrefined version of Josh Kirby. But
Oh
Okay.
yeah, totally.
Because that guy's been gone
Totally,
for so long.
totally old.
for about a
the old
week so
version.
far. But anyway, hey, going back, Thanksgiving dinner should be at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at the latest.
Ooh, no, 8 o'clock is pushing it. I think
pushing
7. I think between 5 and 7 is the perfect Thanksgiving dinner time. The sun needs to be down. It needs to be dark outside. Luckily, around this time of year, the sun goes down early. So I think 5 o'clock is a more than suitable time. 2 o'clock is wild, Dan. That's wild to me.
Yeah. Man,
I don't know how to respond. I really don't.
all right.
I mean, just admit that you're wrong, but it's okay.
Nah, because it seemed like the right time. Seemed like the right time. At the right time.
Whatever. That's
All right.
that's wild to me. That's wild.
All right. So, Carlos, I'll get your response. I'm sure you were nice and full from the Thanksgiving meal, and on Black Friday, you got to watch the Chiefs play, and they got the win over the Raiders.
Yes. Yes. I got to see that.
What a game.
Yes.
Certainly was.
What a game. Indeed.
Yeah. I mean, Antonio Pierce coming out, Carlos saying, oh, we're one of the bad teams. They're one of the good teams. Let's change the narrative and try to win this football game. And
yes, he did say that. He did say that. Yes.
And they tried, but the Chiefs doing what they do best and finding ways to win football games. It's not pretty, but a win is a win, and they got it done. But the last play there, just crazy.
Yes. They got it done. Yes.
What is this bid?
right.
Yes. They got it done. Indubitably, they got it done. Yes.
It's just your good analysis, Kirby. He has nothing to add.
There we go. You don't have anything to add to this game?
I mean, what is there to say, Kirby? What is there really to say? The Chiefs got lucky. I mean, because this is probably
lucky.
this is really the one game where they did actually get like super lucky. But at the same time, we were dealing with the kicker who missed 2 field goals already in that game. So it wasn't a guarantee he would have made it had they kicked it. I mean, look, if this is the game people want to use to continue putting hate and doubt on the Chiefs that they're going to, do the three-peat, let it be done. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, this team is not playing their best football, obviously, but are still winning games. And, at the end of the day, a win is a win in the NFL, whether, it's by Aiden O'Connell's dumb clapping or by blocking a field goal or, by a toenail being out of bounds. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, a win is a win. And if you're going to come beat the Chiefs, you better come beat the Chiefs because they're going to find a way to win, whether it's by making you mess up or they're by them taking it. And that's how it is. Now, once again, there are many issues that have stated. The secondary was god awful to start the game. That's why Nazi got benched. Again, I understand Homer podcast, but that needed to be done. Nazi was just not cutting it, and Joshua Williams did a lot better and made the secondary a little more competent. And the offense just needs to get going, man. And they got to stop letting. They got to get that killer instinct back. And by the looks on the team's faces, they were not happy with the way they won this game. And even though it was a win, it just looked like they were not. Yeah, they were just not happy. And I do wonder how that's going to translate into this next game against the Chargers. But we'll see. But help is on the way. Looks like Hollywood Brown will be able to play maybe the last 3 weeks of the season. Dan, I know you hate Hollywood Brown. It's fine. I understand. But, we only need him for those quote unquote 3 to 4 good games. So you'll have 3 weeks to ramp back up and, we'll get that going. And then hopefully we can get DJ Humphries in because my God, is that left tackle position such a problem for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So bad that they pushed their left guard out to be the left tackle because Wanya Moore is getting beat. And Kingsley Suamataia is just not ready for the big leagues right now. He needs time to develop. And yeah, it's just crazy that they were just like, you know what, we're just going to kick the left guard out to the left tackle. And, it helped a little bit, but, at that point it was kind of, late in the game. So we didn't really get to see too much of how that affected anything. But we'll see what the Chiefs' plan is going forward for that position. But yeah, the sooner they can get DJ Humphries into shape and into football shape and, into the lineup, the better. But I think as of right now, I don't even think they're going to be willing to put Wanya back out there because Patrick Mahomes is getting hit a lot. And that obviously comes with the risk of him just getting injured. So we don't want that. But yeah, not a satisfying win, but a win is a win. We're still the number 1 seed. We still have the best record in the NFL. And there's not much to necessarily complain about on that front. It's just we would all obviously love to see this team play better, but at the end of the day, they're winning, and championship teams win, and that's it.
Nothing to add for me.
Well, I'll add something, and it's on an unrelated note. I'm really not a fan of Black Friday games. It's like, come on. I forgot it was even on, and I turned it on before I had to go somewhere, and just following it on my phone, I'm like,
well, I don't participate in Black Friday, so it didn't affect me at all. Guess what? I got to watch the Chiefs play. That's all I cared about.
Here's the thing. The NFL is going to take every advantage they can to play a game every day. If they can play a game all 7 days, they'll do it. So
there he is.
Money. That's what it is.
Yes,
yeah.
I agree. I agree. But the Chiefs edge out the Raiders 19-17. We're going to take a quick break. Then when we return, we talk about the Washington Commanders. They get back.
Commies, baby. The commies.
Getting back on the winning side of the football. We're back. Episode 217 of the Kirby on Sports podcast right after this. For sports fans living in condominium and homeowners associations, as well as business professionals, when you need a reserve study, PM Plus Reserves has been in business since 1990. Their studies are accurate and easy to understand. Check them out when your association needs a study. www.pmplusreserves.com. You can also contact them at 703-803-8436. Once again, www.pmplusreserves.com. Is it finally time to upgrade your home's interior? How about with an authentic farm table made locally from recycled barnwood? Shenandoah Primitives, based right here in Winchester, Virginia, makes farm tables, benches, tables, coffee tables, and a long list of other items for your home decorating needs. At Shenandoah Primitives, function and style are combined for great furniture that will last generations. If you're interested in combining the industrial look of metal with wood, or considering something incredibly unique with a live edge, Shenandoah Primitives turns those ideas into reality. Thinking about a mirror, wine rack, or other accent piece for your home, Shenandoah Primitives can assist with that as well. As a local small business, Shenandoah Primitives is happy to work with each client for a custom design or schedule an appointment to come out and view current inventory. Local, high-quality, handmade items can be found at Shenandoah Primitives. Find us on Facebook and Instagram or visit us at www.shenandoahprimitives.com. Once again, that's www.shenandoahprimitives.com. As we welcome you back to episode 217 of the Kirby on Sports podcast, I'm joined by the weapon Dan Dembski and the Swiss Army knife Carlos Martinez. Diving right into the next game, we will touch on the Washington Commanders defeating the Tennessee Titans 42-19. All right, Carlos, I'm ready to hear it. They just beat another tomato can.
I have nothing to say. You continue on.
I mean, I'll be honest, and Dan, let me ask you this, because I know you have semi-followed the Commanders a little bit, but where's a performance like this last week? I mean, all around, I mean, it wasn't 100% perfect, but they looked pretty good. But again, granted, this was a depleted Tennessee Titans team coming in at 3-8, but I mean, Brian Robinson looked good. Jaden Daniels was making semi-good reads. He did throw that interception, but overall, it seemed like good football the Commanders were playing, and a much-needed win to get back on the winning side of the football.
Well, I think when you have a team that is still trying to figure things out, is still a young team, they're going to show flashes of what they can do when they put it together, and against a team like the Titans, they were able to do that. You just can't go into every week with that expectation that they're going to come out here and, play to the highest level possible. So I think, again, it's a thing where fans need to kind of tamper their expectations. I think the way the year started for the Commanders, especially the way they played really from the Bears game for the next couple of games onward, people just need to calm down a little bit and, grasp that this team is not – they're not world beaters yet. Let's slow down with that. So,
and they never may be.
Yeah, exactly. So I chalk this up to they just had a good performance, and they caught the Titans at a time where they are not a good football team. They were at home, so they had that going for them, and I think they played a really solid, complete game. But you can't expect that every single week, and you can't expect that against a team all the time like Philly or another team like that. So I that's kind of the way I see it. But this was a much needed win. It was a much needed blowout as well. I think to get their confidence back up. So that was definitely good.
Absolutely. And I'm not sure if you heard, the Commanders have named a new team president as today, as we are recording this episode.
Is it Joshua Kirby?
I hope not. Sell the team now.
It is. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Again.
His name is Mark Klaus. He starts.
Is he related to Santa Claus?
So I was going to say. Damn.
But
Santa Claus.
You'll never guess where he came from.
The gutter.
The 76ers.
No. Any guesses?
I don't know.
I think we just guessed.
I swear, hold on. Before you say it, this better actually be interesting, because if it's not, I'm about to clown you.
You know what's funny? I don't know.
Well, I'm going to say it. It might be interesting. He came from Campbell's Soup. No joke.
Frankie's Soup.
Okay, you know what? I can't clown you for that. What the hell?
Yeah. I know.
What a weird hire.
From Campbell's Soup to the Commanders. I mean, apparently he's only running the business side, but from
He's
Campbell's
not running
Soup.
the food side. That's good.
Yeah, and they own Goldfish apparently too. I'm like,
Yeah.
The snack
really?
that smiles back, Goldfish.
Goldfish.
I mean, I was talking to my dad about this. I'm like, well, maybe $15 bowls of Campbell's Soup coming to Northwest Stadium.
Okay.
Oh hell yeah! If I can get a chicken noodle soup on a cold game
Nothing
day,
better
I'm
than a nice hot
in.
soup.
I'm
Nice hot soup.
in. I'm all in. I'm all in.
But that's my nugget for the day. I mean, if it's business side and he obtains good leadership qualities, I guess.
Hires
I
the
don't
right
know.
people and stays out of the way. That's
Yeah,
the best thing you have to do.
I don't want him as a fan. I don't want him touching football at all.
No.
At
no.
all. Just stay on business.
If he's smart, he won't.
Oh, he's only the president, guys. Like it's not like he can't just make any those types of
He's not the
executive
GM.
decisions. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was very interesting though, coming from Campbell's Soup to the NFL. So,
No,
I
that one
just-
is that's definitely an interesting
That is
that's an
odd.
interesting choice. That one was interesting. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I know.
Campbell's Soup, huh? Interesting.
Okay, but moving on this game, guys, I'm going to say this is the first game I just felt relaxed. I was just laying on the couch watching the game. No,
Well,
no
like,
stress involved.
So yeah, you mentioned to this before we got on here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like again, you guys were up like 28-0 at the end of the first quarter. Like you should have felt relaxed.
It just felt nice to sit back and just watch football without getting too intense and almost.
nice-
I didn't think I
That's a
felt
nice
all
feeling.
Sunday. No, the Chiefs weren't playing. I did. I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna watch, and I kind of was like half watching. I wasn't even actually like fully paying attention.
Yeah. But it felt
That's a
really
nice feeling.
nice.
It's a nice feeling.
It wasn't a close game or the Commanders were collapsing or something like that. So, all in all, a good win.
positive.
And the bye week is this upcoming week. So, get healthy and get back to the winning ways
Some of
as
us need
they
a bye
get
week more than
through.
others.
Yeah, get through the rest of this stretch.
Really bad.
Yeah, but that's about all I have on the Washington Commanders. I'm not sure if you have anything else on that.
Nothing much to say to this game. You guys should have won this game. You guys won this game. That's how it's supposed to be.
And Jaden Daniels looked really great. Like he showed the potential of what he can be if given the proper roster around him. That's the biggest thing. Can they continue to build around him, and can they continue to stay healthy? I think those are the two biggest things moving forward for the Commanders. So,
Amen. Amen. So,
yeah.
with
They're
that,
not world beaters, but they're tomato can
No.
beaters.
they're certainly not world beaters.
Yes.
Let's slow the roll there.
yeah, slow the roll for sure. But we're going to take another quick break. We will hear from our good friend over at Transformative Alignment Group, Dr. Dave Miles. We thank him for his support. We're going to step out for a quick break, and we're back with more right after this.
Winning sports teams thrive on alignment. Every player knows their role, trusts their teammates, and works toward one shared goal, winning. But let me ask you, what about your senior leadership team? Are they driving your business toward success? At Transformative Alignment Group, we help CEOs uncover and address the hidden drain on productivity caused by disengaged employees that cost companies millions annually. Transform your team. Transform your results. Visit tagalignment.com today. Don't settle for good when you can be amazing. That's tagalignment.com.
Hey there, Kirby on Sports Podcast fans. Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate here for you. Remember, if you have any real estate needs, buying or selling, I'm your guy. I would love to help you out. And you can also find me on my own personal podcast, Iconic Talk, where you get a chance to learn about the local real estate market and why Winchester is an amazing place to live. Reach out to me anytime, 540-247-1527, and find Iconic Talk anywhere you get your podcasts.
And we are back. Welcome back. Episode 217 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. We're just rolling right along. So glad that you are with us with the weapon Dan Dembski, the Swiss Army knife Carlos Martinez. I am Josh Kirby. Unfortunately, we have to talk about the next game on our slate. The Philadelphia Eagles coming to M&T Bank Stadium and claim a 24-19 victory over the Baltimore Ravens. And unfortunately, I mean, just to give my thoughts on this game briefly, I mean, Baltimore, they looked in it, but Philadelphia, I just think, was the better team in this matchup. Obviously, some mistakes. I think Dan will touch on more, but I mean, and other than that, I mean, Justin Tucker just shouldn't have messed with the Kansas City Chiefs, man. Am I
That
right,
black,
Carlos?
that black magic, that black voodoo has got him. Should have never messed with. He should have never shot at the Kings and missed. He
All
missed
right.
time on that one.
Let's not forget that he was bad before that. So it's not like it's new. It's not like it's new. He was
Last year?
revisionist history. He was not great last year either. He started the downhill trend last year. It's true.
I don't know.
You can say whatever you want.
He's been more downhill than ever since that month.
I don't disagree. I think this year has been indicative of that. But last year was starting the downhill trend. I mean, we started to see him fall off some last year. He did.
Wow.
What? Can you hear me?
Yep.
I'm not sure what happened to Carlos, but
You can hear me, Kirby?
I'm back.
oh yeah, there we go. I'm not
Are
sure
we
what
all-
happened
I'm
there.
Are we all here? Are we all here?
I'm not sure what happened either, but there was a little glitch. But anyways, continue.
Yeah, I was just saying that his downfall started last year, but definitely people are pointing to that, obviously, and saying, that was the beginning of the end. But whatever it is, something is awry, and I don't really know.
Father Time is undefeated, good sir.
It's undefeated. But the thing is, most of his kicks. Okay, if we can just start with Justin Tucker, because you might as well, because we're already here. He's not missing short. It's not like he's coming up short with his kicks. He's getting distance on it.
I don't know. I guess you're right. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Generally, this year his misses have not been short. He has had a few, but
It's an accuracy problem, is what you're
it's
saying.
an accuracy issue, right? And usually that leads me to believe there's something more going on.
Are you saying he's got the yips?
I think he's got whatever's worse than the yips is definitely probably the case, but I just can't put my finger on what it is. I know, I mean, like you said, Father Time is undefeated. We know kickers at the end of their career is usually what happens, but to me, it doesn't look similar to a lot of what we see, like guys missing short, guys not even coming up, not even getting close to making the kicks. It's like he's got the distance on it. He's most of the time he's pulling it to the left, or I guess his left, our right, if you're watching on TV. And that's what we've seen with most of his kicks this year. So I can't put my finger on what it is. I'm not going to pretend to be a kicker or a specialist or anything like that. But it's brutal. It's brutal. And missed 2 kicks and an extra point in this game, so you cost your team 7 points there. Now, obviously, the offense could have done a hell of a lot more. I'm going to touch on them here in a minute. To where, they shouldn't have to be in that situation where it comes down to the kicker having to save your ass again, like he's done pretty much throughout his career there as in Baltimore. So, but for Harbaugh to act like, first of all, number one, it's not a concern, and number two, they're not even going to consider bringing in a kicker for.
But he's on this point. I will say I think he's right. There, who's out there? What good kickers
true.
out there for you guys
That's
to
true.
get?
The Commanders had some kicking issues too. They won, but their kicker missed 2 kicks.
I'll tell you, this year it seems like there's more issues with kicking in the NFL than I've seen than I can remember.
It's funny because at the beginning of the season there wasn't. It was like, what we got to do something about the field goal kicking is too accurate, and then all of a sudden it's just kind of gone off a cliff.
And then it's just fallen like the last 3-4 weeks. It's crazy. Yeah, it's totally nuts. But yeah, you're definitely right on that point. I don't know who's out there who you could sign.
So that's why, like, I understand his point there
know.
being like, how it wouldn't be wise to move on from him right now, because again, at this point, I mean, all in all, he's still making more than he's missing. It's just, I feel like his misses are just in more big time critical moments. They're more memorable than, because like, say like he misses that, it's in the first quarter, right?
It's like whatever, first quarter.
And then he the rest from then on out. It's fine. But no, his are like in very big spots, and that's why it's
a good point.
think it's a bigger issue than what it really is. He's only missed 10 kicks this year. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not the worst.
it's just crazy to see his overall percentage in his career is just fallen so much just in this season, but then it kind of started last year as well, I think, more than anything else, but not to this extent, not to this level that we've seen it this year for sure. But yeah, it's it's definitely hurting the team, but like you said, Carlos, I don't know who's out there. Like, everyone's like, well, Chris Boswell was, you know, the Steelers signed him and no one, you know, he was kind of sitting around. It's like, well, that's kind of rare. I mean, you're not going to get a guy like Brandon Aubrey either, who's just kind of sitting around.
That was by accident by the Cowboys, by the way.
Right.
Because he wasn't even they just kind of brought him off the street. Well, he had kicked in the, you know, UFL, whatever, the XFL.
Yeah, but it's, you know, that's case in point. Like, are you really going to be able to find someone like that? Probably not. But something's got to give. He's got to figure this out during the bye week, because it's, I mean, you know how it comes down to it in the playoffs typically anyway. It's usually going to come down to a one possession game most of the time. You're not going to see a blowout, so you're going to have those late game kicks. Those third and fourth quarter kicks are going to become clutch and late in the season and in the playoffs. So something's got to change. But again, it shouldn't have come down to that. It shouldn't have come down to his leg as many times as it did in this game. The offense was atrocious. I mean, I'm just going to come out and say it. I know they didn't have any turnovers, but they were just stifled. I have to credit this Eagles defense. You guys said, you know, how you guys talked about, and I think they talked about obviously in the pregame as well, just how good, and we know how good this Eagles defense is, and they showed it in this game. I think one of the things that's most impressive is just how well they were able to stop the run, whether it was Derrick Henry or Justice Hill or Lamar even. They pretty much made him a non-factor on the ground, which again is something that has to be addressed. I mean, how many wide open running lanes did Lamar have in this game? I mean, I haven't gone back and watched it.
There was
drive.
definitely a few
There was at
times
least 3 or 4 where he could have had big runs, and he decided to try to throw it.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Yep.
Why does this always happen? Why is it that in the biggest games, in the biggest moments, every time, whether it be the Chiefs in the championship game, everybody keeps bringing it back to that game.
It's identical.
Whether it be whether it be just any big game this season that they've lost in their 5 losses, there's always been an opportunity for him to run, and he won't run. What's going on with him? I don't understand. But like,
I think he buys in too much to the fact that he has to throw the football. That, you know, that he can't be respected as a quarterback if he doesn't throw the football every time, which is a ridiculous statement. You know, obviously people on social media are always going to criticize him, whatever. But
okay, but he needs to stop doing that, though. That's my point.
I know. I agree. It's hurting them. And also too, I think what hasn't helped them is the drops. And you saw Nelson Aguilar have 2 drops on the same drive in this game that could have been first downs. But it's just nothing was working in this game for them, not on offense. They couldn't run the football. They didn't really have any rhythm in the passing game. And they just were never able to get a rhythm going on either side of the ball, and way too many punts. Defensively, I thought they played pretty well throughout much of this game, but I think the defense just ran out of gas, just ran out of steam. Eventually, we saw with Saquon Barkley, obviously late in this game, he kind of took over and kind of took the game over. But really, all in all, I thought the defense did the best they could do given the circumstance they were in, which was constantly on the field. Too many 3-and-outs by this offense, and just too much time on the field for the defense, and they were tired, and you can see that.
Well, the Eagles basically did what the Ravens like to do to teams.
Right. They wore them out throughout the game and then use the run game to close the
Well,
game.
because like
too,
when you
because-
look at it, like when you look at it, the Eagles did it. Like Saquon didn't have a big game going into
He
the
didn't.
fourth quarter, and then the fourth quarter
No.
he just exploded, and it's
Right.
because, like you said, the defense just got gassed.
They were gassed. Yeah, and it's it's. I think the defense was obviously good enough in this game to give them a chance to win. Until that last touchdown, I think they did pretty much all they could do. But it's just the offense and special teams once again, especially the special teams, and not just Tucker, but their punt team and their kick return team. It just wasn't good. They didn't set them up with good field position. They didn't have any nice returns. They had a couple of times where the ball was downed inside the 5. It's like you just can't have that. You can't have those kind of lapses. And I felt like the Ravens just did not play mentally tough football in this game, and you could see it get to them. So, it was just, you just got to credit the Eagles for what they were able to do. They did the same thing, like you said, Carlos, that the Steelers did earlier this year and that the Kansas City did in the AFC title game. So Carlos drops away.
Yes, technical
Go ahead.
difficulties. Carlos is stepping out. We apologize for any technical difficulties, but continue, Dan.
I just don't have a lot, much else to say. I was very frustrated, obviously, with how the game turned out. But really, I mean, the defense kept them in that game. The offense just has to step out there and make the plays. And I think that Lamar certainly proved in this game that he's not the MVP this season. And obviously, we saw what Josh Allen was able to do on Sunday night. And
In the snow.
able to
Sheesh.
pretty much take the reins of the MVP race at this point, with Saquon not far behind. So Saquon can still make a run as well. But if Lamar's going to win MVP, which again I think is highly unlikely, he's going to have to lead them on a hell of a run and pretty much win out from here on out after the bye week, because this is a much needed bye week for the Ravens. They got to reset. They got to get right. They got to figure things out on offense. There is no excuse for that offense to have the kind of performance they did, and at home nonetheless too.
Yeah.
Just very disappointed in that, and obviously Justin Tucker, big concern moving forward. Like Carlos said, I don't know who you could throw in there, but I think you got to be looking around, right? You can't accept that missing 2 kicks plus an extra point is acceptable at this point in the season. When again he struggled all season. We started seeing the downfall last year. This is probably something the Ravens should have been preparing for a couple years. They just have not done that because he's Justin Tucker. Like, you always think he's going to figure it out. But
I think the Ravens really just need to take a good look in the mirror and figure out what the issue is. And because something is up. It just seems like, again, this team on paper looks really good. But at the same time, it seems like they're getting held up. And I'm not discrediting what the Eagles are able to do, because the Eagles are out there. Saquon Barkley is just making play in and play out look easy. Jalen Hurts able to do some stuff, obviously the tush push and whatnot. So the Eagles are a good football team, but I feel like this should have been more closely contested. And I mean, I had this at like a 2-3 point game, final score, a 2-3 point game in what
I think you guys are forgetting one key factor, and that is you can always tell which Ravens team has shown up. And
basically from the onset, yeah.
You can tell, you can just tell. And they just did not. You can tell by the way they're able to move the ball offensively. They're struggling to move the ball. That's just what it's going to be. It's not going to change. The Ravens are this weird team that their best is absolutely amazing. And they can win a Super Bowl playing like that. But the problem is they're very inconsistent.
Yep.
And they struggle to be in that form, again, on a consistent basis. The problem is that in big games, they get too much in their head. When they're playing again, this was a big time matchup. This is potential Super Bowl preview. Lamar Jackson has only ever lost to one NFC team ever, type deal. And he just did not have it. And it's a problem. And I think that it's something that needs to be talked about more, is the fact that Lamar kind of chokes in big games, whether it's against Pittsburgh, whether it's against, I can't necessarily say he choked against Kansas City because, he did what he needed to do. It's just, it was a freaking toenail out, whether it be against, but even in some games that aren't big, against like the Raiders, for instance, now granted they almost beat us, but at the end of the day they didn't. But I don't know. It's just one of those things of like, I'm not 100% putting the loss on Lamar at all. Not one bit. I feel like his receivers need to do a lot better. Nathan Aguilar had that awful drop.
2 drops.
I mean, you guys
drive.
traded for that.
Yep.
You guys traded for Deontay Johnson.
Is
that his name?
Him at all.
He's not even being used. And then they ask him about it. And it's like,
that doesn't make sense to me at all.
I don't understand what's going on with that situation, but that seems like it was a disastrous trade.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it's just, Rashad Bateman once again gets hurt, can't stay in, and Zay Flowers can't do everything. Mark Andrews isn't, the guy he used to be. He still makes an impact, here and there, makes a couple good catches, but he's not that dominant guy anymore.
Had a hell of a touchdown catch for sure.
Absolutely.
He did. That he did. I will give him that.
That was a dangerous throw. That was a dangerous throw into at least double coverage, if not triple coverage.
Yeah, he did have a great. But what I'm saying is he's not the same impact player as he used to be.
And when you
kind of
a lot guys making plays,
a lot like Travis Kelce right now. Like Travis Kelce isn't the same impact guy he's been in seasons prior. It just happens.
Right.
It's just it baffles my mind, just like how, again, we've seen how good this team can be, and then just whenever it's time for them to really put the stamp out there and really put the beat down on a good team, just more specifically this season than anything, they just can't do it.
Well, and I think it goes back again. We've talked about John Harbaugh and my feelings about him. He always gets out-coached in these types of games too, and
against Nick Sirianni of all freaking coaches to get out-coached by. Come on, man.
I just don't know. I don't understand what he does a lot of times. It just seems like in these types of games they just come out and they're just shell shocked that the other team is good. Number one, it's like, well, obviously you should know they're good. Like we've been watching the Eagles all season. Like it's no joke. But
I think they weren't expecting the level of physicality that the Eagles were going to bring.
They were not expecting their defense to be as physical as they were.
Because that's what the Ravens like to do. They like to be the bully, and then it's kind of a case of the bully finally getting bullied. They don't know how to respond to it.
And that's on their coach. Again, that reflects on their head coach, I think, and all the penalties and the continued mistakes they've had in these types of games that they had on Sunday as well. It's just par for the course, I think, and I think it's just what I've come to expect from a John Harbaugh coach team. They just, like you said, Carlos, and Lamar is part of it for sure. He's a big part of it for sure in the struggles in these types of games. But obviously, he's not the only person who didn't play well in this game. That whole offense didn't really stand up. The offensive line was brutally bad. And, you can't have your quarterback getting hit as much as Lamar was. Also, Lamar cannot take 15-yard sacks, which he did at least 2 or 3 times in this game. You just can't do it. You got to get rid of the football. I know that's something obvious, but that kills you too, because it just puts you behind the chains immediately. I think they had a couple of first downs and started with just deep sacks, and you just I mean, that's something a rookie quarterback learns pretty quickly. But I know he's just trying to do too much, trying to play hero ball. I said that in our family group chat. He just tries to play hero ball sometimes, and it costs them. And I think he did try to do too much of that in this game again, to try to save John Harbaugh again. But look, it's not just one issue with this team. I think it's a multitude of things, but I think, again, it goes back and starts with the head coach. They weren't prepared for this game. It was kind of obvious from the onset. Like you said, Carlos, they were kind of sleepwalking out there. And I know the Eagles kind of started this game slow as well. We saw the first quarter. Obviously, the Ravens were up 9-zip, whatever it was. Should have been 10, but and after that, they just I don't know what happened, if they ran out of energy or they just
I think the
momentum
Eagles just turned it
completely
on.
shifted. Yeah, the
I
momentum
think the
completely
Eagles
shifted.
turned it on, and then they started playing their game. They stopped playing on the Ravens' terms and started playing on their terms, and the Ravens just couldn't respond to it. And granted, it stayed pretty close for a majority, but we saw in the fourth quarter it just fell apart for that Ravens defense, and Saquon Barkley went off.
Right. It was really only 2 drives, like that you would say that he kind of showed that he was the MVP, but that's all you need, right? That's all you need late in a game is to go out there and help your team.
Well, I think the only way he wins MVP is if he breaks the record, which he's on pace for, but
The way Josh Allen's playing, man. I don't know.
yeah, but I mean, okay, we're getting to a little MVP talk here, but like Josh Allen's, it's not like he's lighting up the world. It's just like
it's what
because
he
again,
does.
he's not. He's just like
It's the highlight.
he's just playing incredible right now. Like I
He's
can't deny it.
taking
Like
laterals in the snow and diving for the pile.
that was the play I was talking about. I was when I texted the group. I was like, I
Holy
think he just won
cow.
the MVP with that move.
That's the highlight reel play of the season, no doubt about it. No doubt about
I mean, it's that and the run that he had against the Chiefs, where he ran through everybody.
For the
Like
cap,
Josh
for the-
Allen is
for the cap on the
playing.
game.
He's playing great right now. Like I can't deny it, but is he peaking too early? Only time will tell.
It's what, 5 more weeks of the season left? We'll see.
Plus, then you got 4 weeks of
playoffs.
playoff football. Has he peaked too early? Possibly.
But MVP is a regular season award. We know that, and usually by now it starts to become more clear. So we'll see.
Yeah, to me, I don't think Lamar's the front runner anymore. I don't think he
No,
wins the third.
definitely
I don't
not.
think he wins the MVP this year. I just don't. I think there's been
I
too
agree
many
with you.
blunders by him. I think it really is just coming down to between Josh Allen and Saquon Barkley, in my opinion, because Saquon, if Saquon breaks that record,
He's got to have it.
you have to give it to him.
You have to.
But then you just
Saquon
gotta.
is playing exceptional football at this time, and that.
But then you
I
have
mean-
to ask the question. But you have to ask the question then is because again it's MVP. So take Saquon out of that Eagles offense and you put just any other guy. You got to think they would have some success as well. Maybe
They
not
would
to the
have
same
success.
level.
I
But,
would
like,
agree.
But you take Josh Allen out of that
Oh, they'd be
Bills team,
horrible.
they'd be terrible.
Mhm.
So there's the other question with the MVP
true.
argument is who is actually more impactful. I would definitely say Josh Allen is more
Josh Allen.
impactful to the Bills than Saquon Barkley is to the Eagles.
Agreed.
But you can't deny history. This is a record that has withstood decades,
40
and-
years. 40 years.
And again, and considering how devalued the running back position was going into this season alone,
That's a good point.
like you just can't deny the fact of Saquon, if he breaks the record, he has to be the MVP if he breaks the record. Because then when can you ever make the argument again that a non-quarterback should win the MVP?
Right. If he doesn't win it, then when is it even right? It never will be. It never will be good enough for the NFL.
Like the MVP should not be a quarterback-centric award. And I understand the quarterback will always be the most valuable player on the team. But at the end of the day, if there's another player just dominating the way Saquon is, you have to consider it.
you have to give it to them. Yeah. But I've said my piece. I think I think I summarized it pretty well. I think I'm impressed with how the defense has improved in the last few weeks. Obviously, after they've played some really bad football, and I felt like again they gave this team a chance to win this game. The offense just was not good, and the special teams was brutal as well. So you put 2 out of 3 together, and they're a poor performance. You're going to lose pretty much every time.
Well, what you really want, you want all 3 going together, playing complementary football, going into the postseason. The bye week, you're right, came at the most perfect time.
This is needed. Yeah.
It gives this is a late bye week is always kind of the best bye week because
Both the Commanders and the Ravens.
Yep.
Yeah, but your team's doesn't have Super Bowl aspirations, so who cares?
Yeah,
The Ravens, on the other hand, are trying to get to the Super Bowl, and they do have the talent to make it there. It's just they got to put it together, and they got to all three phases have to play well at the same time. So hopefully Tucker can figure this out and get it, back together. But also, this offense needs to figure out how to stop getting in their own way and stop talking about it afterwards in the sense of like how Lamar was like, yeah, my mom was telling me the same thing that I needed to run. It's like, bro, you should have known that. This isn't the first time this has happened.
Oh, my.
Why is this still a
Oh,
persisting
my.
issue?
He's trying to prove the social media haters wrong.
Well, stop. Do what you do best.
Those who know football and those who play football know that he can throw the football. It's not a question. There's not a question that he can't throw the football.
He's got 2 MVPs. What else does he need to prove? I mean, what he needs to prove now is, can he win the big ones? So go win the big ones. It doesn't matter how you win them. Win them. That's all that matters.
But a lot of great ones didn't. So you got to consider that too. I mean, Dan Marino never won one. He's probably the number one guy. I'm not saying he's Dan Marino. I'm just saying, I'm just pointing that out. But
Yeah.
I don't know. They got a lot to figure out, but this bye week is definitely essential for them, and especially now with Pittsburgh continuing to win and continuing to get big wins. They put up a ton of points on Sunday, but obviously that defense they played not great. So I don't know how much weight you put into that, but they got a lot of work cut out for them for sure, and it starts with just taking it a game at a time. I think right now, but
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. This is an exciting time of the year when we start to get towards the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season. This is when everything starts to become clear into picture. The playoffs are within what's the word? Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. So
Yeah.
They're within
we're getting down
grasp.
to that point.
I'm going to say this again. I said this before. How did the Giants let go of Saquon Barkley, man? Whoo, man.
Now they don't have either franchise player. Yeah. I mean, obviously the one needed to go.
They ended up cutting the guy that they chose over Saquon. So it's like
Exactly.
Crazy.
Clown franchise, bro.
moronic.
Crazy. But with that, the Ravens follow the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll take another quick break, and when we return, the Kirby on Sports PickEm.
Bedbugs. The only thing creepier than thinking about them is actually having them. Trust me, you don't want to have them. Locally owned and operated Barrett Pest and Termite Services can keep you from having bedbug nightmares and infestations. Call 540-340-3922 to schedule your free inspection and consultation. If bedbugs are already in your home, we'll get rid of them so you can rest easy. We also specialize in keeping homes and businesses free of other pests, including rodents and termites. That's Barrett Pest and Termite Services, 540-340-3922.
It's Jason, General Manager at Shenandoah Music, here to tell you all about... Jay, what are you doing here? Well, Matt, I'm trying to tell the people about our selection of guitars, basses, keyboards, drum sets.
I know that, but I always do the radio spots.
You get to have all the fun. I want to tell everyone about our huge selection, unbeatable prices, unmatched service, and in-depth knowledge.
Jay, I really don't think now is the time to discuss.
So remember, folks, when you think music, think Shenandoah Music in Winchester.
That's my line.
The Cider House is now open on East Piccadilly Street in downtown Winchester. The Cider House is open starting at noon Wednesday to Sunday. Stop in for a wide variety of ciders on draft, as well as 4 Virginia beers, wine, and ready-to-drink canned cocktails. Don't miss our lunch specials featuring our house salad. We also have dinner specials too. Stop in today at the Cider House, located on Piccadilly Street in downtown Winchester.
We have reached a pivotal moment in episode 217 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. It is time for another week of the Kirby on Sports PickEm. Let's get it going.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Week 14 Kirby on Sports Pick'ems, brought to you by Anthony's Pizza, home of the Warrior. As you can all beautifully see, my lead has grown. I now have a 2-game advantage over Dan and a 4-game advantage over Kirby. For the 4th time this season, baby, a full month this season, your boy went 6-0. Hooray. I'm just that good, guys. I'm on fire this season. If anybody's going three-peat, it definitely is going to be me at this point. But let's not get a big head about ourselves. As we know, it usually comes down to the wire, and I'm positive it'll happen again. But with that being said, the current standings are your boy, the two-time defending champion, is in first place at 56-22. Dan is in second place. Our favorite number 2 is at 54-24. And Kirby is rightfully in the Kirby zone at 52-26. Our ghost picker is actually in the Kirby zone. She is 2 games behind Kirby at 50-28. So technically speaking, Kirby's not in the Kirby zone, but officially he's in the Kirby zone. Great bounce back by Kirby.
This podcast segment every week.
She does not. But
she wishes to remain anonymous.
Yeah.
For these reasons.
No, I was just wondering if she heard your bit about the Kirby zone. That's all.
No, but I'm positive I've told her about it. But I don't know. Whatever. Anywho,
I would hope so.
Carlos tells people about the Kirby zone.
Something to be excited about. Anyway, what are you gonna do?
To be excited about being in last place, that's wild. Anyways, Kirby also went perfect last week because he decided to completely copy my picks.
Let's go. Winning picks.
You're welcome. And with that being said, the games we will be picking this week are the Chargers-Chiefs, our marquee matchup, the Packers and Lions, an interesting Thursday night game. We will also be doing Kirk Cousins returns to Minnesota, the Falcons against the Vikings, the Seahawks versus the Cardinals, the rematch between the Browns and the Steelers, and the Bills against the Rams. I will go first as your reigning, defending, two-time Pick'em's champion. I will be taking the Chiefs over the Chargers because I'm contractually obligated. And, of course, I'm going to always take the Chiefs anyways, baby, because I don't trust Jim Harbaugh. And I don't trust the Chargers. The Chargers will eventually charge her. And the Chiefs have a great time beating the Chargers, and it is at Arrowhead. And I'm positive the Chiefs are going to want to put on a better performance than they did against the Raiders. I will be taking the Packers over the Lions. Controversial, I know, but hear me out, boys. The Lions I think they might have crossed that point of no return. The injuries caught up to them against the Bears, and they got lucky to get out of that game alive because they have a dum-dum that was on the other sideline.
He's no longer with the team.
He's no longer with the team.
Should have been with the team a long time ago.
But yes, I'm going to, and I think the Packers right now are playing fantastic football, and I think they're going to go into Detroit and win and beat the Lions. I like I said, I think the injuries are starting to amass a little too much for the Lions. I will take the Vikings over the Falcons. Originally, I was thinking Kirk Cousins coming back to Minnesota. He's going to light it up. But after what I saw against the Chargers, I wholeheartedly disagree, and I will be taking the Vikings.
No.
I would take, despite the fact that they bit us in the ass on last week's pick'ems, it didn't bite me in the ass, but
no, because you're undefeated.
Yeah. But besides the fact that they screwed the pooch at the end, I will take the Cardinals over the Seahawks. The Seahawks have been playing very well, but I think the Cardinals will rebound. I think that they got a really bad taste for blowing that game against the Vikings. I will take the Steelers over the Browns. The Steelers are out for blood against the Browns for that embarrassing loss in the snow. They're going to want some revenge, and so I'm going to take the Steelers. And I will take Buffalo over Los Angeles. I just Josh Allen's playing on the next level, but LA could pull the upset, but I just don't see. I don't know. Josh Allen's been playing out of his mind right now, so I just don't see that happening. So with that being said, I will now send it to once again this podcast's favorite number 2, Dan Dembski.
Thank you, Carlos. Starting off here with an upset pick of the week. Giving the Chiefs their second loss. Give me the LA Chargers to pull the upset. To go into Arrowhead on Sunday night. Sorry, my nose started
itching. This is a bold decision by you, Dan. This is a very bold decision. This is a bold decision.
Listen, I know I'm down by 2 games. I got to start getting a little bit lucky on some of these picks, I think. I knew at least you, Carlos, were going to pick Kansas City, obviously. So that's maybe not a good reason for picking the Chargers, and it's not the greatest reason.
This is
but,
what bit you in the ass during the
um,
Super Bowl, but you kind of had to.
I had no choice in the Super Bowl. I will defend myself there. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chargers. I think Herbert leads the boys into Arrowhead, and they come out with the dub. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna take the Lions over the Packers. You are correct, Carlos. They did get quite lucky. They were playing an incompetent team, an incompetent coach this past week, but they still are the hottest team in the NFL to me right now. So they're gonna keep that train rolling. Give me Detroit at home against the Packers. I'm gonna take the Vikings over the Falcons. The Vikings to me are quietly a really, really good football team. Like I know people haven't talked about them as much and given them as much credit as they deserve this season for how they've been playing. And you nailed it, Carlos. I mean, the way Kirk Cousins played, it was atrociously bad. Just a dog water performance that we saw from him. I had to censor myself there for a second. And I don't think he's going to bounce back in this game. I don't think he's going to play nearly as poorly, but I like the Vikings at home in that environment. I think it's going to be tough for the Falcons to go anyway. I'm going to take the Cardinals over the Seahawks. This is a game I kind of flip-flopped on a little bit. Both these teams kind of similar, I think. But I still like the Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr. connection. It continues to be strong, so I think they're going to hook up a couple times in this game, and I think the Cardinals are going to find a way to eke out a win here against a tough opponent in the Seahawks, a team that never seems to go away completely. So this is going to be a game where the Cardinals are really going to have to play a full 4-quarter game. They're not going to be able to, what's the word? Get lackadaisical or lazy in that instance. I'm going to take the Steelers over the Browns. I think this one to me is a no-brainer pick. Steelers offense is clicking right now and humming, and I think they put up a ton of points against this Cleveland Browns defense. I do think Jameis could keep the Browns in this game.
Jameis.
And maybe there's even a potential for an upset again for the second time.
You would
over
love
the
that.
Steelers team. I would love that for sure.
You would love that.
But realistically, I just don't think it's going to happen. I think the Steelers will win. And then last but not least, of course, I will take the Bills over the Rams. I mean, Carlos said it all. Josh Allen's playing out of his mind, and I think the Bills' defense too doesn't get enough credit, but they've been pretty solid as well. And I think they will. I think they're going to sack Matt Stafford at least 3 times in this game. That's my bold stat prediction of this game. So, with that, I will throw it to the founder and CEO and proud owner of the Kirby Zone, Josh Kirby.
Thank you very much, Dan. My picks are simple. The Chiefs, I'm picking the Chiefs. I'm staying with the Chiefs. This could be another close matchup, but the Chiefs do what the Chiefs do best and win. I'm going to pick the Lions, and Carlos is correct. This is going to be really a nail-biter, in my opinion, a big division game for both teams in this division. So it's going to be very interesting, but I'm sticking with my gut. I'm taking the Lions. I was battling back and forth on this next one too, but after what I saw out of Kirk Cousins, I'm picking the Vikings over the Falcons. I'm going to pick the Cardinals over the Seahawks. I just think the Cardinals are looking a little bit better than the Seahawks right now. But again, division matchup could be close. I don't think the Browns beat the Steelers twice in a season. I'm picking the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're looking pretty good right now. And last but not least, the Bills are playing amazing football. I'm taking the Buffalo Bills over the Los Angeles Rams. With that, that concludes the Week 14 Kirby on Sports PickEm. You pick with us. We'll post this on Facebook, and the winner of the picks who get the most amount correct win a large free cheese pizza from Anthony's Pizza in Stevens City, Virginia. Thanks so much to Anthony's Pizza in Stevens City. Each and every week, the pick'ems are on our Facebook, the Kirby on Sports Podcast Facebook page, and you just pick with us. It is that simple.
Possible scenarios here real quick.
There we go.
Dan at best can tie me this week. Kirby, you can get one game closer.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Those are the possibles. So all in all, there will be no overtaking any positions by anybody. Either me and Dan are going to end up tied. I'm going to end up with a 1-game lead, or I'm going to get a 3-game lead. Those are the scenarios right there.
Yep, that is true.
There we go. And with that, that concludes another edition of the Kirby on Sports podcast. Thank you to the 3-man booth, as always, for joining me. And a huge thanks to all of our sponsors, PM Plus Reserves, Shenandoah Primitives, Barrett, Pest, and Termite Services, Transformative Alignment Group, Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate, Mark Lynch with Guild Mortgage, Shenandoah Music, the Cider House, and the official energy drink of the Kirby on Sports podcast, Don't Sleep Energy. Use promo code KOS Podcast for 12% off your order every single time. Find this podcast all social media platforms and all streaming platforms. Thank you so much once again for tuning in to episode 217 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. As always, remember to create greatness. We will see
And if you
all-
smell what the Swiss Army knife is cooking.
Good night, everyone.